What's going on? What's going on? It's Greg. Greg said it. Man, it feels like I've been gone for a long time. I don't know why. Maybe it's just been a busy week. It's the winter time. It's cold, and it's been a long winter down here in Atlanta. But hey, we're making it through. And man, we're making it through January. It's what, January 21st. We've already made it into, I guess, the next round of the football season is already up and going. We're talking about these Colorado Buffaloes. They've already had the first week of meetings and practice, and we don't have a lot already. I mean, I told you all this offseason was going to be spicy. It was going to be exciting. I wouldn't be surprised if we were able to rival the excitement of last year, because we actually have something to be excited for. I think last year we were excited about all the possibilities because we didn't know what to expect. It was kind of hard to have expectations other than what Coach Prime told us. And, it was exciting to what's going on. Everybody popping in. What's going on? Last year we had just a lot of excitement. We had a lot of excitement last year because it was like Coach Prime got his promotion and he came from a very good program that he established at Jackson State. So, we only could go by the expectations of what he's already brought. And we didn't really know what Colorado had. We really didn't. We didn't know what Colorado had last year. So we only could go off of what we felt. And so a lot of people gave us a hard time. So yes, I said haters. That's my word. People really show themselves to be haters. I mean, because sometimes people try to act like they have a genuine, criticism. But some people, they really don't want to see you make it. They're not just criticizing you. They get off on criticizing you. And they really want you to keep failing so they can criticize you. It's not what you call constructive criticism. And so that hater word, I used that. I tried to say doubters. No, it's the haters, right? So that's what I said. So we're talking about why the Colorado Buffalo haters might be worried. And like I was saying, last year, we didn't know what Colorado had. We didn't have nothing to compare it to. So, of course, during the offseason, we only knew what we knew. But this year, we actually have the ability to compare it to something. We actually have an ability to compare the energy. What's going on, y'all? Make sure everybody come in. Like, share, subscribe. We're talking about what's going on in this season so far. And if you all look at my videos from this week, if y'all haven't, make sure you go back and check them out. We talked about some things, especially those first couple practices. And it's been pretty positive. We had the whole thing start off with Shadua and Shiloh in the fashion show. I knew people was going to have a fit about that. I knew I haven't seen much, but I've heard that people had something to say, of course, because we're talking about these haters here, right? We're talking about people who really don't want to see certain people succeed. They really don't want to see them make it. And they act as if, when you have flaws, a hater can really hide behind your flaws. Like Colorado has its flaws. What you expect from a new team? And a lot of people was able to hide and look like fans or supporters, but really they were haters. And as soon as, start losing, boom, they took the gloves off, took their masks off. And we saw a lot of like, wow, people flip on them. And then some people genuinely hurt. Some people gambled on them. And we seen that maybe their hopes were hurt, were crushed. So I get it. I get it from that perspective, but I just don't get the hating part. But it's going to be hard to hate this year. And a lot of people ain't consider us, fanboys. I'm definitely not that. Super fans, whatever you want to call. I actually did play ball. I've done a little coaching. I can do a lot more. And I understand the game. So I've been on losing teams and I've been on winning teams. I've been on both. I was on high school. I started off in Little League. We never really lost. I mean, we lost games, but we always winning teams. So I never really experienced losing until I got to my high school, which struggled with, by the time I got there, coaches had left and we had like 3 different coaches and we started to lose. And up until like my senior year, we didn't win. So I know the energy of a losing team. I know the mindset. I just know it very well because really all the way up to my senior year, we were a losing team. We know what it's like to win a band and your fans don't respect you, don't believe in you. They there for everything else. They're there for the band. I know what it's like. And then I went to college, and it was a winning program. We undefeated. Number 2 in the nation. Things like that. And going to the playoff, winning conferences consecutive years in a row. And I know when I can compare the energy, like when I was in high school, people didn't want to go to practice. They always wanted to try to find a reason. It was like a game to see if you can act like you want to go to tutorial. You ain't got no good grades anyway. But they were coming up with whatever excuse not to practice. But we didn't want to show up in the game. Cared about their personal stats. Lost, pick on and blame everybody else. Really just a bad thing. Then by the second, third game, you're already talking about next year. It's a hard thing to play a season, and you already have people talking about the next season. So that's the nature of a losing team. Like, it's just a lot of combative behavior going on back and forth. It's a lot of negativity, not just in the locker room, but everything's just negative. The fans are negative. Everybody's negative. It's not a good experience, and you don't enjoy it. But when you're on a winning team, it's different. Like, people actually want to go to practice. Like, practice can be hard. It can be hellish, but it's like they love it. It's like, it's weird. Like, they love everything about being on that team. They love going to practice. They love working out. They love the game, and you don't really hear a lot of complaining because it's not allowed in that culture. So with that being said, that's the energy that I get. Like, when you look at last year's Colorado, it seemed like a lot of stuff was covered up. I feel like a lot of things came out in the documentary. I feel like a lot of things, happened behind the scenes that I heard about that never came to light, with the players not playing and stuff like that. And we seen it in the speeches. We seen a lot of talk about, do y'all love it? Only 85% believe, the rest of y'all don't. We need 7, 8 dogs. He was saying that in the first 4, 5 games, really, even while they had a winning record. So you really pay attention to what a person's saying, and the situations, you see real quick something going on. And then it just went down that slippery slope. That was the signs of a team that really wasn't loving what they were doing, and the players really didn't love being around each other, really, or the coaches, because it was just a negative tone, even with winning. But when you look at what's going on now, it's a joy in these players. It's a joy in how they interact. It's a joy in, like, it's not a whole lot of quit walking, run back to the line. I know he can record what he wants, but you don't see them have to keep telling them to run off the field already. Like, of course, another thing is, when you look at it, you got a lot of returning guys. A lot of things that Coach Prime tried to do last year. He tried to bring a lot of guys from Jackson State, not just to get them opportunity, but to set the culture that he wanted, to be an example of, they played with him. They know what he expects. They know his mindset, his attitude. So when you look at this year, it's not just the Jackson State guys. Everybody who was there last year who was able to remain, they know the culture. So it's not a lot of reminding them of what to do, how to behave, what I expect. You know how to come in the meeting, sit down, and not bring food and wear a hat. I don't have to tell 100 people that. And see, they can lead and they can police. We seen Dylan Edwards get on the guy about wearing the wrong stuff. It wasn't mean, but he was just reminding him. That takes a lot of pressure off the coach, but it also helps when the players are able to police one another and help one another so they don't get in trouble. It helps with their experience when they don't have to get jumped on by the coach. So the tone and the momentum is going to be a lot quicker pace. You got to realize that if the players get a hold to the mindset and the standards early, then it saves time. It's like being in a classroom. It saves time when the teacher don't have to keep saying stuff. Don't do this, do that. And you already know, and the other students are telling you, hey, don't do this. It saves the teacher energy and time to not have to repeat certain stuff or to not have to deal with certain stuff. And if your coaches don't have to deal with certain stuff, they can spend more time coaching. They can spend more time teaching than disciplining you and having a negative experience, or creating a negative experience by having to keep giving you up downs, by having to make you run, by canceling practice early and say, get out of here. because they're getting frustrated because they're seeing you're not really fitting into this culture. Right? Have to win the conference to get into college playoff next year. I mean, it's a lot of things, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I think ultimately Colorado, when you look at the type of players that they have now, their focus is there. I saw from the very first meeting just the tone, not just the coach's tone, but just the players. You can tell when somebody's serious when they sit down and look at you. You can tell when somebody got deer in the headlights. You can tell when they distracted. You can tell when they mind somewhere else. But these boys are like serious. They're like here with it. They're focused. They're disciplined. They're showing their work ethic. Everybody who's new, they're coming to show I belong. I'm coming to contribute. So that a rising tide raises all ships. Just don't raise one ship. And what you're looking at is some guys who come into this program who's saying, you better step up because I'm stepping up. And you seeing it. It don't matter. I seen a freshman do it. And when they broke down the huddle, I think he was a freshman. But, young dude. And you got guys coming in, dominate on three. How you know to say that? I heard they asked Benson, I think it was Benson, how long he been watching the Reach the People videos or well off whatever, and he said, man, I started watching a year ago. A lot of these guys, it helps with this documentation because a lot of these guys I have watched this thing. It helps, man. This documentation of it helps this team because they already know what they're coming into because it was documented very well. They already know what they coach expect. It helps them to do their research when they can go back and look at well-off media and look at the documentary. They already know. Matter of fact, it should repel people. I don't really want to deal with all of that. It should repel a lot of people from even wanting to come into this program. You see, it should repel people. I don't want to deal with all that. I don't come. So I know what I'm getting into when I come to Colorado. You're right. Because, like I said, we seen Benson, get into it with Connor. And, Benson already showed he has a different type of personality. He has an energy about himself. He has an energy and he's vocal. And he has an energy about himself. So, like I said, that energy should rub off. It shouldn't be just that, here. Now, you better get together. I'm going to take your position. You act like you don't want to be. He's going to vocalize it. See, sometimes verbalizing what you feel is different than somebody looking at it and talking about it behind closed doors or being scared to say something. He's already bringing a type of leadership where he's going to call people to the carpet, which opens the door for him to be called to the carpet, which opens the door of a communicating culture to the point where if you're doing it enough and you got a relationship, then it wouldn't be and it wouldn't be as much conflict when it do happen because we've created a culture where we call each other to the carpet. I'm vocal, I'm verbal, I'm vocal, you're vocal. So, hopefully it creates an opportunity where in the game, hey man, step up. Hey, step up. And it's not like, oh, my feelings hurt because you called me out. Oh, we're gonna fight because we've established that relationship. I'm gonna hold you to a standard. You hold it, so it's healthy at that point. It's healthy when we both can hold each other to a standard. So that's basically what I feel like that's what he was doing. He gonna make that boy step up, but he gonna step out. And he gonna appreciate, he gonna respect each other as men, because these are men. A lot of people look at it, I talked about this with football, people get sensitive about the tone and emotions. We don't know football, and sometimes it's like more with some of the ladies don't understand, and some do. They were raised around men, their sons play sports. You look at, that's how they gonna get respect. He gonna let you know I'm here and I'm gonna hold you accountable. And that man gonna appreciate that. Because sometimes when you low, you need not just an encouraging word, but you need a push. And then sooner or later, he might have to push him if he got it in him. He may have to push him. And man, that creates a dynamic and a respect that's gonna definitely play out in the field. And when the games get going, it's gonna have a greater impact when I know somebody gonna be, if I'm slipping, somebody gonna step up and push me. And it's out of respect and love and me want to do better. But when people scared to say something to each other, whether it's family, whether it's friends, it's not a good thing because you know somebody should have said something. So you almost feel like, when people don't check you, they don't really like me. It's like they say when a coach don't coach you, he don't really like you. And I experienced that. I thought that was a lie. If a coach don't like you, he don't say nothing. If a person don't like you and they let you fall in the ditch, they really don't like you. So when you see somebody getting in your butt, that means they actually care. They actually either care about you or they actually care about the team. And that breeds respect. That breeds respect. And that's what that team lacked last year. Everybody was scared to say something to each other. Like last year, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real with you. Last year, everybody kept saying, "Who's the leader? Who's gonna be the leader?" Because there's like the coach had to select people. It was no clear leader. It was they had the L's and the D's on the jersey, but when it came to situation, it was no clear leader on the offensive line. It was no clear leader on the defensive line. It was no clear leader. But I watched the footage this week, and I was like, man, everybody trying to lead. And if you really look at it, it's a negative. Like but they're gonna sort it out. It's gonna sort itself out. Everybody talking in the other. You didn't see that last year. It was like everybody looking at who gonna say something. Then the coach have to start selecting people. When you have a clear leader, the coach don't have to pick somebody every time. All right, you break it down. Okay, you break it down. Watch. He ain't gonna have to do that this year. He trying to figure out who's gonna step up. You waiting on the coach to point out who's gonna break the others down. We taking turns. He ain't gonna have to do that. Because that leader gonna step up. And they got them kind of leaders. Benson's showing himself to be that type of leader on offensive line. I'm not saying he's the only one, but he's showing that you at least got one person who's willing to do it. You even, on the defensive line, what's the guy? I cannot say his name. I'm gonna get it right. Nico Sigwaski. What is his name from Houston? Looked like a bowling ball. I saw him on the footage, but man, this boy big without pads. And he got a motor. He get right in front of the coach, do up downs. The guy that big, he wasn't showing no kind of tiredness. He's showing you, I'm gonna get right here. I ain't hiding in the back. That's gonna be a leader. His name, him and my guy from Pitt. They both have these African names, but it's like the enunciation might have to like break it down. That guy there from Houston. That defensive tackle, like can get a little in the nose. Man, I think he's going to be, if not a vocal leader, he's going to lead by example. And when your leaders lead by example, everybody else got to raise to the occasion, or they can just step on the side. But when your leaders are kind of like mild and mediocre, it makes room for the mild and mediocre to look normal. So that's what we're looking at. Why the haters should be worried? This team got a different tone. They got a different vibe to them. They got a different attitude. The attitude is not about, I'm coming out here just to get this all over with. They actually look like they're enjoying it. Last year, we had the whistles. We had the artificially created. The coaches created energy. We didn't see all that, but that was good for the cameras. And it was cute because they weren't lifting no weight barely. These boys in that lifting weight, like, man, we don't need no music. We don't need no whistles. We don't need no hype. These boys eat, they eating them weights. Tell me I'm wrong in the comments. Tell me I'm wrong. They're in the weight room. It's just different. It's just the energy. I'm sending the meeting the same way you are, but the anticipation is different. I'm ready for this because these guys been watching this stuff on camera. They ain't come to Colorado ignorant. Them last year boys, they came based off of what they saw at Jackson State and what they saw in the spring. And they like, I'm just here. But they didn't really know what they was getting into. These boys had a whole year. They got a whole year of well off, a whole year of Reach the People, a whole year of pregame show, a whole year of Greg Said It, right? They got a whole year. All of us talking about this team. Don't think they didn't do their research before they came. Don't think that they are not. Look, before I go out here, let me see what it's really about. Yeah, they came to the game, but you say his name, Shadozi. Shadozi, that's his first name. I don't think that's his last name. His last name is start with an NZ. It's hard, but I think I can say Shadozi a lot easier, right? But they standing on business, man, and it's like the type of person who look at the type of person who they don't have to say it. That's the kind of guys you have. Say, it's trying to get to the left side. Yeah. But they know what they're coming for. But the way they're going about it as like they definitely standing on about business. I'm not here to play with y'all. I'm here to work. I see the camera there. I'm not confused. You can tell they're not confused. Like they're getting from that camera, but they're not confused on why they're here. Especially these older guys. They know exactly the camera's gonna be here, the eyeball's gonna be here. I can play. I'm gonna make sure nobody miss me. I could have stayed in Indiana and did well, and people might see me, might not. But we're gonna be on primetime TV on this team every game. We're gonna be on well off. All I gotta do is play. I know what it come with. I know I'm gonna get my value, my stock is gonna go up as long as I do what I need to do. But I'm not gonna be somewhere and do what I need to do and get overlooked. So these guys who come in here, no, I'm not about to get overlooked. I know exactly what I'm getting into. And these are starters, remember? These guys played. These are not, I need an opportunity, guys, like I said in one of my videos. These are not guys, I'm just here, to get on the field because I was the third string, and I hear y'all looking for some players. No, that's not it. These guys are guys who I know I played, and I want to go from possibly being a 7th round to a 4th, 5th round. Or I know I played, I'm going to be a 5th, 6th round. I want to get to the 2nd, 3rd round because I know not only the scouts going to be at every practice, but I know people I'm going to be identified. They want to be identified. You remember, you got a helmet on, and there's thousands of guys. Coach Prime is providing these boys the platform to be identified, to pop out. It's like going to a high school, trying to go to college, and you're on a losing team. No scouts ever come to the game, and you just send all your videos now to YouTube. Back in the day, you send tape out everywhere, hoping they recognize who you are and you pop out. Versus you being at a program where you got every opportunity to pop out. The scouts at the game, and you got every opportunity to get the exposure you need. So they know that's covered. And that's a good thing to have and have peace with. I know that what I need is covered. So you got the right opportunity. You're not coming here to play with it. You're not coming here to miss out. You're not coming here to embarrass yourself. You seen what happened last year. That line, you should have stayed hidden because now you're associated with the worst line in history, basically. You're the reason why Colorado lost. You're the reason why Shador didn't finish his season. That's not what you're coming for. So you already know the spotlight shines on both sides. Like Coach Prime say, it shows the good and the bad. So they understand that. But at the same time, let's look at how they're going about it. They got the skills. They're working on their skills. They're serious. They're not playing. There's not a lot of playing around. A lot of people say they played around too much last year. It's not a lot of playing around. They have a good time, but they do it different. They doing it not silly. They doing it like men. I'm really looking forward to how it transpires, how they feel, the tone of the film. Yeah, he gonna film different. Yeah, Bucky learned from last year. He's not showing certain stuff, but just take a look at the energy and the posture of how these guys stand up and how they go about what they're doing. And when you talk to them, what they say, they know what they want to say. They know what they want to portray. They know because they've seen the last group and they learned. I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if people were coached on this with their parents and their family. Okay, this is how we're going to do this. They came with a plan. Then you look at Shador walking around with a whole bunch of little miniature Suge Knights to the basketball game, right? I don't know if y'all saw that. Had at least 3 linemen with him. I think I saw Benson. I know I saw Seaton. And who else was there? Maybe Johnson. Tyler Johnson. So they all were there. They are the guys who say don't touch 2. These guys been texting each other before I remember Seaton and all them. And they had a chat group. These guys been building a relationship before they even signed. Imagine that. These guys Shador went and hang with Seton. How many linemen did you see Shador hang with last year? I'll wait. How many times he said, "Oh yeah, he went out to eat." He did these antics, right? He tried to go out to eat with them and tried to beat them, gave them watches. You don't hear about all of that. And he tried to bond with them. But how many guys did you hear Shador hanging with? They actually want to hang with him. He ain't got to go out his way. They actually want to hang with him. He's not trying to pull them in. They putting each other in. It's gonna pay off drastically. Drastically. I know what I'm talking about. I'm playing football. I know the difference between camaraderie and unity and just, oh, we hang out because we here together for these few hours and then we go. The team that hang, I don't care if you're playing Little League, the team that have sleepovers before the game, everybody come to the game together, and the coach let them hang together and practice together all during the day, during the summer. They play different. They play like they won. The people who hang with each other off the field play like they're one. And when they play like they won, it's obvious. They show they care about each other. They know each other's mannerism. They got nonverbal cues. They operate in one accord without even communicating because they spend so much time together. They don't talk about it so much. They can do it in their sleep. You can blindfold them and it'd be like the military. When they go to playing like that, it's a big difference. It's less missed blocks. It's less sacks. It's less, him getting hit. And when he do get hit, they feel it. It hurt. It ain't like, oh, and then it happened again. Oh, just nonchalant. Oh, like it's not gonna happen again. Like Tyler Brown, somebody he crying on the sideline when he saw this. This should be personal. And it don't happen that way. It don't happen that way unless they spend time together and they know each other and they trust each other and they like each other. You can't tell me they're not going to work harder for each other when they know each other versus, oh, that's just my quarterback doing when we get in the uniform, but I don't really deal with him like that. He don't really deal with me. And then I'm going to tell you about that. Since we talk, let's throw this 4-8 on out there. 4-8. They're working out. 4-8. It's 4-8. We 4-8. We lost 4. We won 4 games last year. That's gonna be the battle cry. The whole they lifting weights, and every time somebody slip up, we was 4-8. They can do that. We was 1-11. They didn't own that 1-11 because it was like that was another people. That was another coach. That was another team. That 1-11 didn't resonate. It was part of the psyche, but it wasn't part of it. These boys personally, they're taking it personal because they was on that more, not just a handful of guys. Most of these guys were here when it was 4-8. That's a rallying cry. Never again. You feel that energy. Never again. We're not just trying to win a game. We're just not trying to win our first game and prove we can win. They did that last year. We're not settling for losing record. We're not going to get beat like we did last year. That's the attitude. That wasn't the attitude last year. The attitude last year was we won here, that was y'all, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, with no real reference for the guys who were there because they come from all these other different schools at that point. But the guys who sat on that bench this year, hurt, didn't play, and watched Oregon slaughter them, watch Stanford come back, that's personal. You watched, you were there. You watched these close games go back to back. Arizona, Oregon State, UCLA. You watch these little close games slip away, and you look at everybody facing the locker room. You remember that. You remember that. It's different when you was there. When you watched them steal that game from you in Utah right in your face, and you had to go eat it. That's in you. It's like when a team lose the championship and they come back the next year with a vengeance because they like, no, we had that feeling. We're not going to feel that again. We're not going to lose again in the championship. We're not going to lose again in the Super Bowl. It's a difference when that team come back. And that's what we're looking at. It's a team who was there together, not a team who was put together and only this many guys was there. And they say, oh, that was y'all. No, that was us. And when we train and when we interact, it's always in the front of our minds, a forethought. The crap that happened last year, we know what got us there. We know the lack of unity got us there. we know slacking off and I ain't open my mouth got us there. And we're not standing for that crap. We're not going through that again. You got a point of reference. You know, even the guys coming from other schools, I saw what y'all did, and you was one of them. And I ain't come over here to lose with you. So you step your junk up or get out of the way. That's what you saw with Benson. It's like, I didn't come over here for that. And I know the energy. And he always say, this is the new old line. Look at the attitude behind that. This is the new old line. And the new old line hanging together. They're not saying, I'm just going to get my tape so I can go to the NFL. I'm just going to get my tape so I can go to the league. I just got 6 months and I'm out. No, the new old line is an identity. If you're going to be part of this new old line, you're going to have a new attitude and you're going to have new results. Or else, we're going to basically, you're not going to be, we establish a new culture. The new old line. That's the language they're using. So, not only is it going to require attitude, it's going to require results because people are going to remember that. So people going to hold them accountable. The haters going to say, I thought it was a new old line. Y'all still getting sad. They know that. So they putting that heat up under their own self. They're putting that heat up under them own. See, recognize an opportunity for NIL deals and go to the NFL. All of that's there. You see, it was there last year. But you can't do it when you go to losing. It was good when you were winning. It was good when the highs, you notice how as they started losing, they didn't give them the TV spots no more. And they slowly the views start going down. They weren't fighting for them TV slots no more. Now, hey, yeah, this finish out with the Pac-12 network. Half the people can't watch it. A third of the people can watch it. And you sitting there and you looking at nobody's caring as much. And the fans are turning on each other, turning on the team. It's not a healthy branding environment. Branding environment is when you undefeated and next week you win. Even if it's a close game, you win. The brands want to be there. The TV want to be there. The celebrities want to be there. That's what that's the benefit of coming to Colorado. You can get that. But if you're not winning, you lose the whole point of being there because everything that you have work against you. Now, being on well off work against you. Oh, he's showing too much. They playing too much. Now it's all negative. Everything they do is the reason why they lost. You can't benefit from the camera when you're losing because now everybody nitpicking you. See, that's why they lost right now. See, that's what they're doing right now. And it's not good. It contradicts the whole experience. So long as they're winning, appreciate it, Roberto. As long as they're winning, everybody is going to get what they want. You're going to get, you know what? More wins, go get you more draft picks, higher draft picks. More wins, going to get you more NIL. More wins, going to get you more recruits. More wins, going to get you more, what we call, you get more money into the core, whatever. My brain is freezing here. More wins inside of the cooperative, the co-op. So you're going to get more booster. You're going to get more donations with a winning team. It is what it is. And that's any team, but it's definitely the case of Colorado because that spotlight can either bless you or it can curse you. And if you win it, that spotlight is the greatest thing in the world. And if you losing, that spotlight is the worst thing in the world. You can't go high when you go to losing. You become a hotter transfer destination all season. That's what they're scared of. 2020. This season right here says it all. This season right here is going to solidify Coach Prime what he's going to be able to do in the future by winning this year, putting 5, 6, 7 guys in the draft from one school. Only other people going to rob it as an SEC school. You got an opportunity to pull that off because you already know Shador and Travis going in the first round. So you put a couple of them linemen in there with them, and you put 4, 5 guys in the draft next year. It's a wrap. Because you know you got a couple more coming in next year. So you put 4, 5 guys in the draft, you may go far up to 6 or 7 with some higher picks and or some lower picks. It's going to be a game changer. So this season, it's a lot weighing on this season. It's a lot weighing on this season. Make sure y'all like and share and subscribe to this thing. Help out on algorithm. Leave some comments. I appreciate the comments. I think at the end of the day, competition is going to sort out a lot of things with these boys. The competition is going to sort out a lot. We got 1 year down. We got a lot of guys back this year. They got an attitude of, hey, never again. We already know what coach wants. He ain't got to repeat the same mess. We went through a whole year last year of him and Coach Mo and everybody beating to our heads how we should behave, how we should interact, what's expected. We ain't got to waste time doing that. So we spend time bonding. We went through last year together. We went through a butt whooping last year, which was a bonding experience. So it'd be that much better when we win this year. There's a difference between we got whooped last year together and we win together this year versus we was all scattered 200 different schools, and then we got together and just won the first time. It's just a different experience. It's a different bonding. Y'all went through something together. Y'all went through both sides together. That's the beauty of how it happened. It worked in their favor to go through what they went through last year together versus just coming in and winning automatically. And it's like we didn't really have to go through nothing or build nothing to get here. So we're looking at competition at every position. We see the O-line ready to fight and push each other and build respect for one another without just acting like they're not going to say nothing to one another and letting each other suffer. They're going to build respect. They're going to build unity. And they're going to build accountability. And that's the best thing that can happen in that room. Because next man got to be ready. Somebody go down, twist their ankle. You know, big boys, and somebody coming down on the back of their leg. Somebody got to be ready to go in. And he got to be able to bring that same level of expectation. This to go down, somebody got to be ready to go in and be him. You know, somebody hurt their knee, it happens. Whether it's a long-term injury, whether it's an injury for that game or the next 2 games. We seen Savion Washington had to rush back. Hobbling on one foot, couldn't even block. Looking bad. But depth protects your brother. He can heal. He can heal. And not go out there and embarrass himself. So the depth is going to be the best thing in the world for these guys. I'm telling you that now. The competition is going to make sure that they're ready. The competition is going to make sure that they sharpen their skills. Not just the competition on with each other, but guess what? They're going to have to unify real quick because D-line going to be ready for them. Shaduzi, he's going to be ready for him. That big bowling ball, and no mess around and let Warren Sapp get a hold to him. Warren Sapp was a bowling ball too. And teaching them hand skills. They're gonna have some practices, man. I can't wait till them little one-on-ones go to happening. And you know, them player-led one-on-ones, Shaduzi, and then all these boys come out. Them one-on-one, we got some edge rushers out this world. They're gonna put Seaton to work. They're gonna put Benson to work. I think Benson playing tackle, Benson or Johnson. They're gonna put them boys to work. And we ain't talking about Bishop. I don't know what happened to Bishop. We ain't talking about him and what's going on. It's quiet. But they got some boys in here, and there might be some more. All this little spinoff going on with Alabama and Washington, and possibly Arizona and possibly LSU. They throwing everybody in the mix, depending on who get these spots. And when they move, somebody else gonna get their spot, and it just creates a domino effect. And these boys moving around, we might get some more D linemen. If we got room, we should have room for a few. They know what's going to open up. And then they know some people going to say, well, it ain't working right. They know some people going to leave from last year or even from this year, like we seen Upshaw and all them last year in the spring. So we know some stuff going to open up after the spring too. We seen it last year. We had a front row seat. We watched guys come in the spring and leave in the spring for one reason or another. So we just going to enjoy this process. She asked here, I know we brought it up in the beginning about what's going on in Paris. I think it's all part of the Colorado brand, like I said in another video. This is bigger than them. See, the whole Louis thing, we don't even know how this time together. The Louis brand was tied to Colorado from the time Coach Prime walked in there. When he said, I'm bringing Louis. So they might mess around, all of them get Louis bags. I don't know. It's a reason. They don't do nothing for no reason. Them going to that show put spotlight on the program, not just them. Everything that Coach Prime and his family do, it benefits Colorado. Every branding opportunity, every marketing opportunity. Every commercial they do, it goes back to them because it operates like their dad. So everything Shador and Shiloh does, Bucky does. At this point, it works the same way as when Coach Prime go on, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Super Bowl. Everybody's looking at Colorado. Everybody's looking at, you're welcome, no problem. Everybody's looking at Colorado, and that they're like extensions of him. They're not regular players. It's not like, oh, a regular player went. They are like, oh, he couldn't go, so they went in his absence, even though it was for them. They are an extension of him. So everything they are so well groomed and so used to this. It's not like a regular dude who's just not getting a spotlight and is gonna blow his head up. They don't live this life their whole life where it doesn't interfere with their ability to perform because it's part of who they are. They watched their dad do it for so long, doing a fashion show, doing whatever, and playing football is second nature to them. It's not like the regular dude who went to college and he got to go to NFL and have to adjust like, oh, I got to adjust to this spotlight and this fame and this money. They've been around fame and money and spotlight since they were born. Their dad was at the back end of his career. He was already a future Hall of Famer. Now, Bucky was a little older, so Bucky was more on the front end. But Shador and Shiloh, they were more towards the end of his career as far as when they were old enough to really know what was going on. He was about to go in the Hall of Fame. You see, they were little kids. When he little snot-nosed little boys, when he was in the Hall of Fame, they were kids, little kids. Bucky was like a teenager. So that's all they know. When they were born, he was in the prime of his career. So they can handle the different opportunities and spotlight. It's second nature. So I wouldn't compare them to, sending Jimmy Horn over there. And, this might freak him out. It's too much. So they were the right people. It was the right time. Like he said, they didn't miss no practice. They only missed the first meeting for what they say. So, they missed some of the introductory stuff. They lined it up the way they need to line it up. And it worked out. And it's going to work out. And I think a lot of opportunities in NIL is going to work the same way. Because if Shador succeeds, it benefits everybody else. It benefits the next quarterback. It benefits the program. Every spotlight that they can bring to this program, it's going to be good. Because that's what they have. They don't have the legacy of Alabama. They don't have that we went to the playoff every year. We don't want some national championships. They don't have what the history, football history since like the early 90s or late 90s, whatever, that the Florida States have and the Clemsons have, the Ohio States and Michigans. They have hey, I can get you the spotlight, I can get you exposed, and I can get you on a fast track to, from where you are. Have I given an opinion on Xavier Weaver? I mean, of course, Xavier Weaver is he's going in the draft. I don't know what's the future of Xavier Weaver, but I know that he's a lot better off than where he was, because if he had stayed where he was, he would have put up numbers, but the light wasn't there, the spotlight wasn't there, and he would have been, depending on his agent, he would have barely got in position to get drafted. He'd been on the last day. He would have been, like a preferred free agent, basically, like, hey, we want you, like a preferred walk-on. You can come on because we know you good, but you haven't established your value. But what he did with Coach Prime, with the loss and all, the fact that he was the number one receiver and he had the spotlight and he was consistent, he just positioned himself to at least go on, fourth round at the least. So I'm not gonna give out statistics and follow all that, but I know that because of what he did and the tape he put together, and then you make them look back at his consistency and what he did down at the South Florida. I think he's in position. He's definitely gonna get drafted. Of course, the higher the better. So I don't know. I think that stuff is developing. As you see the senior days and all that. And if you get invited to the combine, and and all of that. I think we'll see more of those projections. Some people are already projecting. That's not my thing, it's so far out. But I will say that he's in a better position. And I will say that a lot of the guys who are here right now, who just got here, they're going to be in a better position than they had to stay and play at the Indianas and the Houstons. Even if they in the same conference, you can't tell me Houston is getting the same spotlight as Colorado. It's just not. And, what you do at Colorado and Colorado winning, if you did apples to apples and Houston was winning, yeah, the scouts may know you, but your value, your stock is higher, your name recognition, your brand, the demand for getting paid, the fact that the team wants you there because of what you bring. Because ultimately, you got to realize sports is a business. Why you think the LeBrons and all the other top players get paid top money? They sell tickets. When you say their name, like a celebrity in a concert, you pay for that name recognition, and you pay more. So these boys are building name recognition at this point. Weaver built name recognition that he just didn't have. And at the end of the day, you're welcome. At the end of the day, the name recognition without the winning is hurtful. Because now everybody can just say, oh, you was part of them, oh, da, da, da. But the name recognition with winning is the best combination you can ever have. And it's rare. It's rare to get name recognition and win. Because even if you went to Alabama, your recognition never rivals a Nick Saban. The only time you become like a big name is you like Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram. Some of these people winning Heisman's. I remember when Judy and all them boys were there, and Smith, Devontae Smith, and then all these Waddle, they were national champions. And those names were synonymous because they did it for at least a couple of years together. We seen Chase and Jefferson do that. And when LSU had that hot run that year, and Burrow. But even then, you wouldn't know what they looked like, and you wasn't getting a consistent run of them until it's kind of like late in the season. These boys ain't even played a down yet, and they already got the exposure. They haven't played a down, and their name is already out there. We're not super fans because we don't know every statistic and everything, but we know more than average fan because we have such a great community of content makers who give us different information. I come from a different perspective. We got other guys, the John Liquidators. We have Rob the Man. We have different people. David talks buff, and we have Colin. We have so many guys who not necessarily reach the people tier of assets, but they just got a different spin, different fan base bringing the material. And some of us overlap. Some of us watch, and y'all watch their stuff and watch my stuff, and we all kind of follow each other. And we able to know a lot of stuff that only a super fan would know because somebody's providing the information. We don't really have to research it a lot of times, which is part of our research is these outlets. And we know these players' names. We know where they're from. We know a lot of stuff about these guys that they don't get that at the other school. Nobody paid attention to them like that at the other school. The only time you get that level of attention, especially at a big school, is if you about to be a top draft pick. So that's the beauty of being at Colorado. And it hurts the fans sometimes because sometimes we know too much. Like when they missing, why they didn't play? Did they get on the plane? We tracking them like that. And it's all good. But at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be worth our time. I was hoping it'd be worth our time this year. And it looks like it, from what I'm saying. It looks like, we're not gonna get embarrassed this year. We're not gonna be shamed. And we're not gonna have to be fighting for a losing team. Like, so it's still our team, and people talking about you talked all that stuff. What happened? It become the butt of the jokes. They're gonna put us on the right side this year. Greg said, I'm going to say it. I'm not hiding from it. They stay healthy. They stay working together and stronger. It's already a better team. And like I said, I don't see them as a 4-8 team. I feel that was robbery. I think at the very least they were 7-5, really 8-4 team with all their flaws. Just the talent, they were really that. We saw the last game just taken from them. We saw a lot of close games, a lot of weird calls. They kept, them out of a lot of games that were 7-point, 3-point, 8-point, 10-point games. And so if they can pull away, they can eliminate a lot of that. They still got to watch the doggone refs in these competitive games. But I think 10-2 should really be the standard at the lowest. I don't think 8-4. This team could have went 8-4 last year. I think that with the talent they got at receiver, the talent they got at the line, they should 10-2 is really like you can give yourself a room to lose no more than 2 games. And that's just tight or whatever happened. But to lose 4, I don't think that will be good. That's just me. But like I said, I want you all, make sure y'all check out our sponsor here. I got them strolling at the bottom as always, our cable cutter with Tanggula. That's still our sponsor. And man, it helped out a lot. Like I said, it helped out a lot with these football channels and playing on these different channels, networks, and games getting delayed. I can switch over to ESPN 2, 3. So make sure y'all check that out. We got a special run in there as well. Somebody left a comment here. Said people underestimate the gravity of the direction the bus is going. They get lost. Losses. How does a losing program sell out? I don't know. Hey, they had that spotlight. They had the spotlight. And that spotlight was there before they played the game because people wanted to see where they're going to lose. And the fact that they kept winning, that kept that spotlight going until it finally kind of, went on down as the team kind of unraveled. But it only unraveled because they couldn't bond together and fight through it. The record unraveled and the team unraveled because it exposed their lack of unity. When you hit a hard spot, that's when you come together. And that's what they're building right now, coming together. So when, if you do lose that tough game, it just don't blow your season. Or you have a hard game, it just doesn't destroy your confidence and y'all fall apart. And that's what they're working on right now. So, like I said, I'm going to put these sponsors in the description. Make sure y'all support the sponsors of Tanggula, as well as we have the debt converter. Go ahead and get y'all a free ebook. Help you get out of debt 5-10 years. Mortgage included, student loans. This is what I offer my people here. Make sure y'all check it out. And with that, I'm going to get me some lunch. I haven't even had lunch yet. Started this thing late here. But I'm Greg with Greg Said It. Thank everybody for subscribing, and sharing, and liking, and all that good stuff. Make sure y'all subscribe so y'all be with us next week. We do this live once a week. I have videos throughout the week. Check them out. And I appreciate y'all here on this Sunday. Y'all have a good one.